Here are the 5 things that you need to consider in your budget. Number 1 is on genetics. For genetics, you must choose genetic that coincides with your project. So for instance, if you cannot choose a meat goat, yet your objective is a dairy goat. And number 2 is feeds. Feed management. Will you be on zero grazing or on free range? So if you're planning on a free range system, then you must have a backup plan as to feeds, so that you realize that at any given point you will have sick animals or animals in quarantine. So you must have a plan, an actionable plan as to how you'll handle the feeds, especially for the sick animals, or in case of climate change or depletion of the free range system. Number 3, we're looking at finances. So you must budget accordingly. Your finances, especially if you're a breeder, then there's the gestation period of 5 months if it's goat farming. You must know how you'll be able to sustain the workers' pay, the feeds, the vaccinations, any expenditure that is revolving around it before your ROI, before your return on investment. So you must have a strategic approach to goat farming. So you must take it as an enterprise for you to be able to get return on investment. Then number 4, we're looking at risk management. So risk management touches on vaccination, deworming, spraying, and vet consultancy services. So it revolves around any supplementary feeds that is required. So one must budget accordingly for such things. So that calls for having other areas that you can be able to raise the fund. For instance, you can have another side gig to sustain the goat side. So complementary side gig. If you are into kienyeji chicken, you can have the kienyeji chicken. When things are required on the goat side, then the chicken even can come in and sort you out on that. It's more of a complementary sort of farming, whereby one project sustains another one and the other one sustains the other one. And then number 5 is on structures. When I speak of structures, we are looking at fencing and housing. So on fencing, it depends with your area. So some guys have some basic fencing, especially those ones who are not in wild animals areas, but it's advisable to have a good fence, whereby it will assist you in terms of management of the goats. Because during kidding season, when you have the kids, it's quite a mess if you don't have let's say chain link or a reasonable fence that can ensure that there's easier management of the kids. And for housing, I'll say housing, we have 2 proponents. We have those ones for the raised goat pen and those for the basic. So for me, I'll say if you're starting out, don't spend too much money on a raised house, which could have been used to buy some good genetics. I'll say that's why I began with genetics first. The structure should be something basic to avoid adverse weather conditions on your animals. And you can have a small area raised for purposes of the kids. If you're beginning with animals that are pregnant, then while building your structures, you must have the bigger plan. What is the master plan in terms of growth, so that you can be able to project that this is my quarantine area, that will be my maternity wing, that area will be now the exercising yard, so that now you do it's like a project management. So you know which phase to begin with at what given point. If you're expecting kids, then you must plan for those kids upfront rather than sleeping. Those are the 5 things that you must consider when you want to start your business of goat farming in 2024. So stay tuned for more and subscribe.